Hello, everybody. It is Dee with Dee and Renee's Low Carb Cooking. This week it is July the 3rd, and we are here to talk all about cabbage. And on our page, I gave you all a little bonus recipe this week for July 4th celebrations tomorrow. But all the things that we're going to be talking about today are perfect for potlucks, backyard barbecues, really fast food prep, all those types of things. Cabbage is one of those veggies that when I speak to it as low carb, and I see there was some comments today that a lot of folks think that it's not low carb, but it's actually pretty low carb in the land of vegetables that are very versatile and we love to eat. And so if you're not doing a do-it-yourself keto, cabbage fits perfectly into the low carb, low sugar lifestyle. So it is just I solo again today. Renee is still a very lucky ducky and still in Italy until next week. She will be back with us. So if you are joining us live, give us a holiday emoji. Give us your love, your likes, your shares. So that we can share our recipes and our information out of our broadcast. And if you are here joining us live, please feel free to write in the comments and I will do my best to answer questions as we go. And as always, if you're here, please type in, say hello and let us know where you're from. Following each week's broadcast, we send you our recipes in an email form in a weekly newsletter. So I will also post the link to our weekly newsletter in case you have not signed up for that. So we're going to start here today just with my first picture. I really wanted to show everybody all the versions or the many versions of cabbage that you can use for your recipes. However, when I went to purchase cabbage this week to make my recipes, one of my favorite Savoy was not available. So what you see pictured here is Napa cabbage, purple cabbage, and good old green cabbage. And the green cabbage has a local harvest from somewhere and was amazingly huge, fresh, and really nice and raring to go. So there is our cabbage, our pre-cabbage picture. How many of you use cabbage in your weekly planning, preparing, and grocery shopping? Planning and prepping. Totally just lost my train of thought. Hi, Christina from Columbia, Maryland. Cool. I'm gonna throw up the first picture here that I'd like to talk about today. And this picture that's going to come up in the screen here is one of my most favorite pictures. Now, it didn't come into our broadcast. Let's try again. Whew, I'm going to give a whole bunch at one time in there, but that's okay. So the top picture that you see there is a salad that I just call Dee's version of the traditional Japanese, Chinese, or Japanese cabbage salad. So I don't know if any of you make the traditional one or have had it in potlucks, or if some of your family members make it, but traditionally it uses what we call those ichiban noodles and your chicken stock, and it has usually sunflower seeds, bean sprouts, and cabbage and mushrooms, and a delicious dressing. And so I recreated this one quite a few years ago, and it is absolutely so close to the real deal. And the really cool thing now is that we do have the sweet and spicy trail mix that you can put in if you're looking for that nutty crunch. and totally works within your day. If you're in phase 3 or 4 and on protocol here, then you can totally use sunflower seeds, just like the original recipe calls for. And the zero noodles. Now, I don't know if any of you use zero noodles or have any experience with them, but I like to dry fry them till they are crispy and add them to this salad. So a really simple salad to assemble: bean sprouts, green onions. Hello, Sandy. Good afternoon. Bean sprouts, green onions, mushrooms, and of course your cabbage. I do use the trail mix in my version of the salad. It is easy and delicious, and it puts great crunch in. And I don't dress this one though until right before I'm going to consume it, just because I don't like soggy cabbage or bean sprouts. So before we move on to the next recipe, I wanted to give you a little tip on how, if you have bought a cabbage and it is bitter, what you do to take the bitterness out. So we've all heard the method of salting our veggies to help bring out the water, but with cabbage, you can salt it once you have sliced it or mandolin it. And you gently massage it a little bit, and then you can let it sit, and that helps to take the bitterness out if you need it. Or if you ever stumble across a recipe that tells you to do that, then that is why they are telling you to do that. They are getting you, they're assuming that your cabbage is bitter, and then that's going to help get the bitterness out. I have actually never done that method. I don't mind I've never minded the taste and texture of cabbage. So, but that is an interesting where you want to pre-soften your cabbage. That would work as well. All right, I'm going to try to take some of these down. All right. So this next recipe is just a version of a good old coleslaw. And of course, if you are in phase 1, 2, 3, you're going to omit any carrots, but all the rest of the vegetables on your phase 1 sheet are game and good to go. So this one that you see here, it has some Italian parsley, red onions, purple and green cabbages. I like a variety of cabbages in my salad, and so I throw them all in here. And I'm going to bring up and show you a picture of the dressing that I made with this one. Now, I'm always game for trying a lot of different homemade dressings. And I know that we can't, if you're in a losing phase, you're not going to be using real mayo. But for any of you that are in maintenance, when you're reading our recipes that are designed for low carb, low sugar, if you're in maintenance, you can just very easily substitute the real deal mayo in place of anywhere where you might see something that says Walden Farms Amazing Mayo. Another tip I can give you on the Amazing Mayo is that you're going to always want to dilute it. The sweetener that is used in Amazing Mayo is really, really strong, and it leaves a really strong aftertaste. But if you marry it with some other flavors, like pictured here, it's not so bad. So the coleslaw dressing that you see here, excuse me, actually has chili powder and dill in it is the main ingredients in this fresh one, and it is a nice spin. You can still use a little bit of your daily oil allowance in that dressing, or you can totally omit it if you would like to use it somewhere else. So that's the really neat thing about when you're making your own dressings. This one has a touch of apple cider vinegar as well. You can add a touch of IP maple syrup for a sweetener in it, and of course salt and pepper. And again, as with the last salad that I was talking about, I only like to dress them very close to before I'm eating them. You can dress this one and leave it overnight, but it will wilt your cabbage leaves a little bit, especially if they're really fine mandolin, which I never mandolin my cabbage. I just slice it nice and thin with a really sharp knife. But if you are watching our broadcast live today and joining us for our cabbage show, please tell us where you are from and who you are. And of course, if you like cabbage or not. I always find it really interesting after we're done shows to see the feedback on what type of vegetables that our low carb, low sugar clients are really using and enjoying. So there is a version of a tasty coleslaw. So another reason why I love something like the last two salads that I've seen, if you are going to a potluck, barbecue, family gathering, it's a very easy, fast, and economical salad to throw together, and a lot of people do enjoy it. So it's a friendly one to have on a potluck table versus something, a mystery salad or dressings that you may not be able to have if other people bring salads. So yes, so that's my version of coleslaw, and it's dressing. All right. I'm going to try to bring another one up. As always, Renee is our technical director. She is our mastermind when it comes to keeping things going and flowing on the show. And I stumble so much. So it's so easy for me when I am talking about my food usually. Renee is switching the pictures and keeping us going and writing the on-screen updates for us and keeping us all going. So I sure miss her when we are doing these Be Lives. I can tell you that. Sandy is in Washington. What's the weather doing in Washington, Sandy? I have to tell you all, I'm going to give you all my big cry story. If you follow me on Facebook, we had a storm rip through southern Alberta last week. And where I live on the northwest corner in southern Alberta in Medicine Hat, my yard was under half a foot of hail everywhere. So not only did it absolutely destroy my perennials, my annuals, my trees, my everything, they were covered under half a foot of ice overnight and didn't melt. So everything got a horrible, horrible shock here last week, and it's just not turning around and recovering yet. So I'm really hoping that some warm weather is going to roll in here and turn around our days. Okay, cloudy. It's cloudy here too, Sandy. So this picture is a turmeric cabbage curry, and I used ground turkey. And for any of you that like turmeric and any type of curry, I would totally encourage you to try these kind of recipes. So I was going to do a version of Coleslaw, and there are so many good ones out there, and they're so easy to do. And quite honestly, the reason why I love Coleslaw recipes is you don't need a recipe. Anything that's on that phase one sheet can basically go in a pan with your cabbage, and you are good to go. So your creations can be endless. But this one I wanted to give to you as a curry version, and it is once again really easy to make. So fresh ginger and fresh chili, serrano chili. If the serrano chili is too hot for you, you can use a jalapeno, fresh garlic. I chose ground turkey. The turmeric adds wonderful flavor. You could use a little bit of real milk or almond milk and some water, salt and pepper, of course. Now, if you are in maintenance and you see this recipe, well, then you for sure could add full fat, unsweetened coconut cream to this recipe, and it would be delish. So when you get the written recipes, we're going to just give you some ideas that if you're in phase 4 maintenance, how to still keep them low sugar and low carb, but you don't have to worry so much about those yummy healthy fats, because you are allowed to work those in, and something like full fat coconut cream is an excellent ingredient when you're in phase 4 for things like curry, and of course fresh cilantro and limes for the garnish. If you were also in phase 4, you could add additions such as fish oil and sesame seeds or any type of seeds if you like. So yeah, there's lots of ways you could dress them up if you wanted to. So does anybody have any questions so far? Any holiday emojis out there for Renee? I don't know if any of you have seen her fabulous pictures in her most fabulous sunglasses and hats all the time. She looks like she is getting some amazing sunshine. And I have seen the most delightful olives and nuts in her pictures that look absolutely fantastic. So I wish that somebody was feeding me from Italy today. For sure. All right. So the next one that I am going to show you is a mock kimchi. I don't often say things correct either, guys. So feel free to correct me at any time. Now, I say mock kimchi just because there are some traditional ingredients in kimchi that we cannot have if we are in phase 1 or 2. But you can sure make something very close. Now, I chose to make one that has quite a bit of heat in it with the chili paste and chili pepper paste and garlic. So a little goes a long, long way. And instead of traditional onions, green onions, scallions are totally fine and totally delicious. And I want to also show you the sauce on its own. There it is. So the recipe, you know, it's not a big recipe, but a tiny, tiny bit goes a long, long way. And so what you see there again too is the kimchi sauteed cabbage. So simply taking your cabbage, sauteing it till it's nice and tender, and then working in a little bit of the kimchi style sauce. And so again, we're going to have a little bit of oil and fresh peeled ginger, garlic. I liked green cabbage for this one, but any cabbage would be fine. I think I was going to go ahead and tell you guys about the Savoy cabbage. So I was going to buy Savoy cabbage, and this tiny, tiny little head of cabbage, when I got to the till, was $8. And usually cabbage is one of the most economical things you can throw in your grocery cart. So I told the lady at the till that she was just welcome to keep that one this week, and that I would take home the other ones to do our recipes. So yes, so very, very versatile. I know you all can think of a ton of places where you can use kimchi sauce as well in your recipes over, chicken, over pork. This kimchi sauteed cabbage is over a pork chop that my boys enjoyed and devoured. Delightful over fish as well. So everybody's really quiet today. There's not a lot of questions, not a lot going on here. So guys, if you have any questions about cabbage, any concerns, or if there's just anything you guys want to chat about today while we are on doing our live here as we're going through our pictures, if you type it in the comments, I will do my best to give you some answers. Sandy, are we streaming good today, or do we have lots of interruptions? Are we okay? Is my router working? I had to replace that because my broadcasts always seem to be interrupted and not running smoothly. So it's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. How many of you grow cabbage yourselves in your garden or live close to somewhere where you have access to it? All right, so this picture is a very, very long-standing traditional recipe that can be made in a variety of ways, and it is braised cabbage. Hello, Renee. Renee from Kansas, everybody. Looks yummy. Thanks, Renee. I hear you and Stephen. Awesome, Sandy. Sometimes I know we get really glitchy, but I'm glad it's working well today. So what you see pictured here is a very, very traditional braised red cabbage. And I have seen and have tasted recipes for years and years and years, generations and generations. Now, a traditional braised cabbage recipe is oh so simple. Water, vinegar, or apple cider vinegar usually calls for some apples and a yellow or white onion you will see. And we're not going to use butter, but you can, of course, use your daily allowance of oil. Lots of farm in the valleys with fantastic veggie. Awesome. Hello, Cynthia. Oh, good streaming. Excellent. Illinois. Yes, Napa cabbage would go good in kimchi too. Do you make kimchi, Cynthia? I love trying new recipes with a few new little ingredients. And I'm a little bit sensitive to the really, really hot stuff, but I love to dabble it in, a little bit. So I usually just go a little bit easier on the amount that I put in when I'm first trying it. So now we can't have the onions, the yellow or white onions in a braised recipe just because of the caramelized sugar. So I went ahead and used good old-fashioned green or just our green onions. I buy them every week. So I don't know if there are some weekly staples that go in all of your grocery carts, but green onions is one always. It's always on my grocery list. That goes in my cart because I seem to want to use it anywhere from a fresh salad or into a dish that's made. And then with this red braised cabbage, I used the chayote squash in place of the apple, and it works just fine. I think I might even prefer it. I know a lot of people like apples that mush down, but I actually like the texture of how the squash stays a little bit firmer. So I don't know if any of you have tried braised cabbage on its own or without. Sorry, guys. Hey, boys. My kids are home for this summer. All of them. They're loud. Yes. Braised cabbage again, excellent. It would be excellent on its own as a veggie anytime through your day, but a great side dish accompaniment to your supper time meal. My first choice would be fish once again, and any kind of white fish or tuna, and I also would serve it over any type of protein. I have to be honest with you. I think one of the beautiful things about cabbage is that it just marries to everything so well. And it is so simple and so fast to saute in a pan. How many of you out there incorporate an egg roll in a bowl or a crack slaw into your weekly meals? There you go. Cynthia says, I use Napa in many of stir fries with peppers and green onions and asparagus and some broccoli when I have it fresh. Yeah, awesome. Nice and easy and fast. The other great thing about cabbage is it keeps a long, long time. So lots of times we talk about storing our veggies, the best ways to store them, those types of things. And once they're washed and cut, they actually can start to break down quite fast. But cabbage, once you slice it and store it, remove all the air, if you can, out of your packaging, will last a very, very long time. And it's so economical usually. So you get a good bang for your buck. Yeah, I do. Renee says I do crack slaw. So yes, now I was going to throw onto the barbecue to show you guys too some different versions of just cabbage steaks and what you can also do with those. And even so what I wanted to show you was the kimchi sauce and coleslaw dressing that I had made with these recipes were perfectly delicious over those types of grilled cabbage steaks as well, but unfortunately, our propane was left on the last guy that was grilling, and so I couldn't do any barbecuing, but that's okay. All right. Sorry guys, that's my puppy out there. Duff. He is guarding. He thinks he owns he thinks he owns the land across from our house. And if anybody is walking on there, then, you know, he thinks he has to police it. I make egg roll. Christina says, I make egg roll in a bowl pretty often. It's a pretty delicious and easy recipe too. It's a great one. Again, forgive me, everybody, as I am just trying to navigate through our live. One more week, and Renee will be back, and she can do all of our awesome technical, all of our technical work for me, because I am so clumsy when I go to do it. All right. So as we head into the closing of cabbage, we can talk about anything you want to talk about, but I would like just to say happy July 4th to all of our American friends. And I want to know, if you are in phase 1, what do you have planned for tomorrow? Do you guys, is everybody celebrating? Are you going to a barbecue, family and friends, potlucks? Are there going to be temptations? Are you planned and prepared to go out with other folks? Are you confident that you can handle it? Do you need help with anything? It's, you know, I love making food to take to other places. I love bringing my own food, and then I can ensure that I am never stuck being hungry or without a meal. I'm pretty comfortable in that now, but I think it's because I've been doing this a long time. Renee says she's staying home. So then your plan and prep's going to be really easy. What's on the menu tomorrow, Renee? If you've got anything planned for your 4th of July, if you head on over to the Low Carb Cooking Show page, there is a festive July 4th cake posted there. I should have brought a picture of it up here. I'll see if I can. And it is a delightful white cake with zucchini, and it has the pomegranate cranberry bar melted over top as an icing, and it's delicious, delicious, delicious. Is everything closed and shut down for July 4th, or do lots of businesses run as scheduled? If you are a business owner, will you guys be shut down tomorrow? Anybody heading out to the fireworks tomorrow? Will you guys all have local fireworks where you live? I have to be really honest with you all. So we just had Canada Day, so ours is July 1st is when our big celebration was. But I had been out of town all weekend and drove home on Canada Day. And once I got home and sorted, I went to bed. I didn't make the fireworks. Cynthia says grilled sirloin and grilled vegetables at a cookout, but I'm bringing my dessert, rhubarb jello with an IP jello packet. That's perfect. That sounds yummy. You know what? You can't go wrong with grilled sirloin. Oh yeah, my work is closed. We are closed. So it is a holiday day. So, you know, if you guys are not out and about and running around, you know, it's a great rest and recharge day. If you are on Facebook, oh, local fireworks tonight. Awesome. Do you get them 2 days in a row, Holly, or they just do it a day early? If you are on Facebook, I would invite you all to search out a group that Wendy White Stevens has created, and it is the Ideal Protein Book Club. And anyone can ask to join, and there is going to be some good reading, and currently everybody is reading the Dr. Tran, because it's your life, and there is I do believe, a free downloadable version of that so that you can read along with everybody there. And so if you are resting and relaxing tomorrow and you got your feet up, that would be a great place to start with some reading devoted all about you and your journey and making it better. And oh, nice, Christina, only half a day today too, so that is awesome. Well, on behalf of Renee and myself, everybody have a very safe and wonderful holiday tomorrow. I'm going to let you all go, and I am going to get our recipes all written up here and sent off so that they can come to you in your email on Monday. As always, if you have any favorite recipes or any other comments or questions, if you're watching this in the replay, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and Renee and I will get back to them and answer some questions for you. Oh yes, a great book. Yeah, and you know what? The more times you read it, I think the more you get out of it, especially if you have been on the journey more than once, twice, 3 times, or doing a reboot, or just need a refresh. All right, take care, everybody. Stay safe. We'll see you next week.